grand rising, or good afternoon, depending upon what time you are listening. Today is Sunday. Happy Sunday. This time space sequence we call January the 5th, 2020. This is Sean Speaks, and I will be presenting for you the blog post from the website from today entitled, What is Your Purpose? What is your purpose? Our affirmation for today, I am purpose. I am purpose. What is my purpose? Have you ever asked yourself that question? You don't find your purpose. Your purpose isn't given to you. You develop your own purpose from your internal self-talk. Say, what now, Sean Speaks? Hear me out. Hear me out. I know for many of you, I have just made some blasphemous statements. It's okay. That is just a word. I too believed all my life that my purpose was somehow outside me, and one day it would be given to me after I diligently searched for it. After turning 40, I was still searching for my purpose. I am almost 50, and I was still if I was still doing what I had always been doing, I would still be waiting for my purpose to come. I waited for the master and giver of purpose to finally pick me and give me my purpose. Have you ever waited to hear or receive your purpose? I was waiting for it because I didn't want to blindly walk forward in life without security that I was operating within the purpose I was created for. I didn't want to go stabbing in the dark. I didn't want to take action without knowing that this particular thing was my purpose. So I waited and waited, sometimes patiently, but to be honest, most times frustrated, anxious, and jealous, because it seemed everyone around me got their instructions on their purpose thingy, but my turn hadn't come. When you believe purpose is found or given, this may mean you don't want to engage in trial and error. And if that is true for you, you may in effect be reiterating a mental habit belief that failure is bad. If you believe failure is bad, you may be creating mental habit loops that keep you from trying for fear of failure. I wanted the security of knowing that if this was my purpose, it could not fail. Do you ever find yourself wanting that security from failure? In my opinion, please take that with a grain of salt now. If someone teaches you that purpose is going to be given to you, or that you will find it outside of you, this effectively teaches you to not try and to wait to be allotted a turnkey purpose. If you don't try, you will never know what you can do, and you will never learn the many ways of not doing it. And that is fine for those of you who are comfortable being allotted the role of the quote-unquote not triers in someone else's box of life. But is that the role you really want to play in your life? Can you relate to not wanting to be a failure? I was failing in life because I was afraid to do what I wanted to do. Truthfully, I didn't know what I wanted because I was trained to believe it would come to me. I was too concerned about what others thought of me, so I unwittingly sculpted myself to fit perfectly in someone else's box of life. but caring so much about what others think of me while also waiting on my purpose to come to me became heavy and pointless. Because after all those years of conforming and waiting, conforming and waiting, conforming and waiting, I was no closer to finding my purpose. And I just became more frustrated with myself and frustrated with my life. Have you ever felt like the life you are living and you are a mismatch? Let me repeat that question. Have you ever felt like the life you are living and you are a mismatch? Have you ever been frustrated with yourself? Have you ever been frustrated with your position in life? And then I started doing something differently than I did before. I listened to myself in complete silence daily. And I began to observe my self-talk and worry thoughts. I literally listened to my self-talk bad about myself and worry about everything. I never paid much attention to how negatively I talked to myself about myself. My negative self-talk was out of control, and I didn't know it until I engaged in what some would call silent meditation. Not necessarily the meditation with your legs crossed like the mystics and sages, but not prayer or begging, and not wailing or crying. I wasn't begging someone outside of me to fix it. I wasn't hoping for a miracle, and I wasn't emotional. I just listened to the thoughts that ran through my mind. I paid attention to myself. And after observing all the crazy that played on repeats in my head, I laughingly joked to myself that if I was the master and giver of purposes, I wouldn't give me a purpose either. My self-talk was on a loop cycle of crazy and worry going nowhere. My self-talk had no purpose. My self-talk had no purpose. I engaged in what we now would call life coaching. I started devouring a lot of information, but I didn't default believe what I heard. As my friend Sharita would say, I learned to, quote, chew on information, end quote, and spit out what doesn't work or make sense before adopting in my thinking pattern or swallowing in absolute belief what someone said or wrote in a book. And as I did that, I developed and allowed my number one principle for living to guide me through it all. I trust the process of life to work out for my greater existence and being in this world. With that as my guide, I learned to pick myself, trust my thinking, make decisions, trust my choices, embrace all my desires, and develop whatever purposes I choose. Yeah, you heard me. Whatever purposes I choose for my desires, wants, and dreams, as long as I am willing to put the work to manifest them. The resulting greater awareness I understood from this process was the following. Purpose is an outward expression of an inner desire. Purpose is an outward expression of an inner desire. Our affirmation for today, I am purpose. I am purpose. Thank you so much for listening to the audio blogcast podcast presented to you by freeyourthinkingmind.com. Please definitely go over to the website and subscribe and share. Please check us out on our podcast at freeyourthinkingmind.podbean.com and our YouTube channel at FYTM Network. Ashe, free thinkers, ashe. May what you say manifest in your life today and every day. Have a wonderful day.